You are listening to Now the Final Word, the podcast that talks with the stars of now, all things pro wrestling, and any insider scoop you must hear. Here are your hosts, Ryan and Lonnie.
What is up, Facebook? What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome to Now the Final Word podcast. We are live on Facebook, and if you read our post this afternoon, this is what we'll be doing here for the foreseeable future, going completely live, and then recording it and going on Podbean. But you guys here on Facebook are going to be able to see and hear this absolutely live. But I can't do this alone, so without further ado, as always, Lonnie and Jeremy. Lonnie? Hey, Lonnie. Sorry. Lonnie Slaughterbottom. Yes, thank you for putting that. Thank you so much. Sarah's going to be so happy. Lonnie, you all right?
What day is it?
It's now podcast day, buddy.
What happened?
What you started?
You had a baby.
You had a baby. Congratulations, man.
Oh,
Is that you getting your sleep in?
Is WrestleMania yet?
It's
Actually,
coming up.
Technically, it did happen.
Yeah,
already,
technically,
so.
it did. Yeah, we'll talk about it here shortly.
Wake me up when it's done.
But yeah, congratulations. How are you doing, Lonnie?
I'm good. Drinking some.
We got a photo of Moxley too. Yeah, we do have a photo of Moxley.
We do?
We can put it up there for him.
Sure.
Oh,
He's adorable.
mostly takes after your wife there, Lonnie.
Yeah, it does.
What was the birth weight?
912.
Good God.
Yeah. He's almost ready.
The 10-pound
He's
turkey baby.
almost Logan Uncaged weight.
Man,
About the same build too. About the same height. So
He's got a little bit on him.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Jeremy, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm good.
Yeah?
I don't work right now,
Yeah.
so
Join the club, pal. High five.
yeah, you did work a little bit to make a baby.
It was 3 minutes 9 months ago. Don't give him any credit.
Yeah,
Hey,
no.
I had to pick up the other 2 minutes.
Yeah. I know.
Oh, man.
Those of you who are unfortunately struggling in this time, I know we all are. And just know that you're not alone. And hopefully tonight for the next hour and a half, 7 hours, whatever this is going to take, that you are entertained a little bit more.
I've got nowhere to be.
Right. I know. Well, let's get started tonight. Let's talk about it's WrestleMania weekend. So it is hosted.
What do you got there? What is that?
This is my phone.
Can I see it?
No.
Please,
No.
just 1 second.
No.
I've never seen that new iPhone. Let me see it. Just let me see your phone, please.
No.
I feel something.
I'm
tricky
not
coming
gonna
on
hurt it. I promise I will not hurt your phone. Just let me see your phone, please.
If you
I'm a new dad. I'm not gonna hurt your phone.
If
gonna
you
be
look
your
up porn on
excuse.
this,
I'm not gonna look up porn on your phone.
I
Okay?
don't know if I trust you or not.
Okay.
Okay,
I have been in the hospital with a baby for like the last month, so
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna run this show.
Oh, good, because I didn't write all of it down. So good luck.
So I'm gonna run it. So you guys are gonna talk. I'm gonna do this show. Do I have to do the notes you have along with it? So the first note: look longingly at Lonnie. WrestleMania is this weekend. And it's gonna be 2 nights, hosted by Ron Gronkowski.
It's Rob.
Boo. Do you
Who
have a boo
cares?
sound effect on that?
Do I?
Yeah, that's close
That'll work.
enough.
Close enough, yeah.
That's how I feel.
Gronkowski watch. So what do you think about that? WrestleMania being 2 nights.
Stop. What is it? Learning curve.
I don't know. I mean, it's obviously going to be a terrible Mania. Crowd is 100% what makes Mania exciting, and without it, I don't know. I mean, they're going to have to do something, I guess, 2 nights, stretch it out, because an empty arena.
I already
is
broke
gonna,
it.
An empty arena gets pretty boring quickly. Like
You want it back?
No, you only had 1 note on it.
Raw and SmackDown are kind of unbearable to watch without a crowd. So
They're unbearable.
They're,
anyway.
well, okay, I will say they're
Touche.
unbearable. However, there are shining moments throughout them. There really are. I mean,
few and far between.
yes, but you also play up to the, how SmackDown opened up last week. It was Bayley and Sasha Banks again, and the way that they're portraying it as if they're talking to an arena full of people.
Well, and I hate to make it sound like I'm talking bad on it. I mean, it's good on WWE for still having content out there to keep people entertained during this time.
Yep.
But it's just, I feel like they could go away with that whole thing of making it seem like there's people in the crowd when there obviously isn't. Or if you're going to play to something, play to the cameras, not empty chairs.
Right.
Well, at least they don't have chairs.
Well,
out
and that's
anymore.
why.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I
they
skimmed through it.
bypassed
So
the chairs.
the bypass
the chairs
chairs
are gone.
because WWE. So AEW was actually the first people to get rid of the fact that there were no people and no chairs. So they moved hard cam to face the entrance.
Yeah.
So that was AEW's move the very first night.
They took that from us now.
Yeah.
We did that. They copied us.
But WWE took that, did the exact same thing, and it was after the 316 show where that whole debacle of Stone Cold and Byron Saxton.
That was funny.
Okay.
That
Yes.
was hilarious.
Can I get a hell yeah flash to the empty seats? Like, that popped me.
It was
I'm not
so
gonna lie,
good.
That was
Stone
funny.
Cold, after Byron Saxton said, hell yeah, and Stone Cold said, what? That's what popped me.
Yeah.
I was
I'm done.
after that.
No, but I'm the way that they have done it and the way that they're doing it has been beneficial for them to just get rid of the fact that there's no seats. NXT's doing it now too. Excuse me.
It's interesting to say the least. And I wonder how long it's going to go for because I don't know. I don't see anything getting better in the foreseeable future. And I don't see us going from where we are now as a society to, okay, we're back to normal. Everybody, we can have full arenas full of people and stuff. So
optimistically, I honestly would say we're probably looking July before any of that could happen.
At earliest, yes,
Yeah.
July.
I mean, we're talking in the pandemic, China is back to normal. They've been back to normal for a week now.
No, she's still
No,
not
not
doing
that-
good.
Shut up, Lonnie.
She's still rough.
Shut up.
It's true.
I mean, yeah.
They shut down theaters again.
Yeah. In China? Oh, wow. Sad. Fake
I
news.
don't know. The world, the world's crazy right now. I mean,
So
it's weird.
It also doesn't have that there's 8 different strains of this that's going out there, but
Right.
so let's talk about WrestleMania, shall we?
Here's the funny thing I think about WrestleMania. When they released, like, on the dirt sheets, they're talking about, like, the first night's going to be 3.5 hours. The
Remember,
second
we're not
night's-
allowed to talk about the dirt sheets on here. A particular person in the room gets furious when we talk about the dirt sheets.
Well, he doesn't have a mic this week, so we could talk about the dirt sheets.
He
for
doesn't have a
little
camera on him either. Though.
Yeah.
bit. Yeah. So the first night, according to the dirt sheets, was 3.5 hours. Second night, 3 hours. So they're talking, it's too big to be in one night. Has to be 2 nights. I'm pretty sure the 2 nights are still shorter than last year's WrestleMania.
We'll see how the pre-show started at 3.
Right.
Yeah, and didn't get over till 10:30.
That
Right.
was rough. I mean,
was a bad night.
even Alexa Bliss, she was the host last year for that
Mhm.
last segment. You could tell she was like napping in the back, and like they just woke her up, like go.
That's why her gimmick is now like, give me coffee, fuck, give me coffee.
Right. So speaking of WrestleMania, the biggest news out of this weekend is that
Trump's thing.
Roman Reigns has opted out of WrestleMania 36. Thoughts?
I think Miz is getting far too much heat, like,
Oh yeah.
for going to work sick.
Oh yeah.
Like, if he didn't go to work sick, if he's like, oh, I'm sick, I can't go to WrestleMania, think what that would have done for his career. Like, I think it's a two-way street. Good for them giving Roman the time off.
Yeah.
But, like, I think everyone shitting on The Miz is kind of
Yeah.
a little rough.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna have Logan pull up. There's an interview with Triple H on SportsCenter this past weekend, and Triple H was specifically asked about the Goldberg Triple H match.
The Goldberg Triple H
Along the
match.
line of precautions
Roman
they're
Reigns.
taking here, the match between Goldberg and Roman Reigns had to be altered. How come?
Well, so there are various talent, and I don't I don't want to get into the specifics of WrestleMania because that's a must watch and see
Sure.
event. But we don't like to take precautions with our talent any more so than they need to, and all of our talent are in this in a voluntary capacity. So right at the get go, if they don't want to be a part of this, if they feel there's a risk for whatever reason, be it themselves or somebody around them. They don't have to be here, and there will be, nothing is held against them for that. So, the same with our crew and everybody else. But we don't want to take chances on that. And with Roman having a pre-existing condition that would make him more susceptible to something, it's understandable. So, we've had very few talent that have had issues or chosen to not be here, but we're where we're at, and I can tell you that for us, it's been an amazing, or at least for me, amazing process to be able to go to these events. Everybody's under immense pressure. Obviously, is a ton of work going into these and trying to do them. Even the talent performing in front of no one is not the easiest thing in the world. And yet everybody is here. They feel like I think they just feel a sense of purpose. They're all laughing, they're smiling, they're having a blast. These have been some of the most fun days of television, of everybody just staying within the rules and trying to do it, but happily going out there and trying to perform a service. And I don't think that people should look at it anything more than that. We're trying to put a smile on your face. If you enjoy it, hopefully you do, and that's great.
Thoughts about that, guys? I mean,
It makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything he said. You can't really hold anything up against anybody if they don't want to be there.
Right.
I mean, you want to be, it's better safe than sorry.
Yeah. At the end of the day, good on him. He's thinking about his health. He's thinking about his family.
right.
At the other hand, Vince could have easily said, you're screwing up probably the main event of the night, and easily said, be there.
Yep.
So.
And I also wonder if it wasn't for that Sports Center logo in the corner, if somebody tuned in late and they saw Triple H, they probably thought he was our special guest. Podcast.
Yes, special guest, Triple H. No, so that means Roman Reigns is out. So, I mean, Lonnie and I know who, and I don't know if you know who the replacement is.
Yeah,
So,
I do.
Spoiler alert. What's that?
I said turn off your earphones.
Yeah, turn off your earphones if you don't want to hear this. But I have a feeling it's going to be set up on Friday Night SmackDown anyway.
I'd hope so.
So, well, yeah. So, besides us knowing, who would you put right now that's on the roster on SmackDown? Well, actually, it doesn't have to be SmackDown, does it? It could be Raw. Who would you put up against Goldberg? Because, as Lonnie told me earlier today, it's pretty much going to be a transitional champion. So, who would you put up against Goldberg at the grandest stage of them all?
I don't hate somebody enough to put them up against Goldberg. He's terrible. His is
Right?
a waste. A waste of a title change and stuff like that. I don't know if I don't know. I feel I'd have to put like a legend up against him, just because to make it seem a little bit more believable. Have two old guys fighting each other.
Right. And here's what I said, and I told both of you this. The only person I think who would the match logically be a good contender for that match would be John Cena. Would be the transitional champion, would be John Cena.
To break Flair's record.
To break Flair's record, yeah. Let him go in, let him beat Goldberg, let that match mean something. They took it away from The Fiend. Let at least the title change mean something. It doesn't matter who beats Cena, but let that title change mean something.
Yeah.
You could always do, I don't know if they are going to be able to do this, but how they always have like the Battle Royal.
Yeah.
You could have the winner Battle Royal.
That's
shot.
what you would do that, right? That's what you would do?
I don't think you can do it because unless it's a 10-person Battle Royal.
Right.
But
they can't have a 10-person because they have 6 camera crew.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get about this whole thing anyways, not to change topics, but I don't understand how they're not breaking laws because they have crew there, and like the crew itself is going to be 20 plus people.
Well, here's the deal. So all of this was taped last Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
All of the taping was done last week. They did Raw tonight, SmackDown on Friday, and the WrestleMania matches were all done by last because the governor completely shut down the state of Florida last Thursday. So they were scheduled to have done all of their filming Thursday afternoon. So they, as far as I understand, met their deadline. So spoiler alert, all of the matches are already taped. Everything's ready. It's going to post-edit.
Well, apparently a bunch of stuff's leaked already, and the results are leaked
Oh,
somewhere.
really?
Yeah.
I haven't heard
there was
that.
a lot of people complaining on Facebook.
Put that phone down.
That-
Don't look at him.
No, I'm not. I'm not looking. I'm literally looking at the card. is what I have right now.
Don't be looking at leaks.
So I'm not, though. I don't look at leaks. I don't, because I hate them. Because I'm that Mark, that fan that really wants to like know in the moment. I really am. I hate leaks. But I'm going to tell you who Goldberg is going up against right now. So here is the card. I know I'm a hypocrite, folks. I'm sorry.
If you feel bad, I can tell him.
Do you want to?
I thought you would have
you're-
changed your ways now that you're a father, but you're still a heel.
No, he's definitely.
I'll crush everyone's spirit.
So Lonnie,
It's
do you,
SmackDown.
Lonnie, do you want to tell everybody?
I will
Spoiler: who
gladly.
the Universal Title match
I
of
will
Goldberg is going to be
crush
against?
everyone's spirit. They are replacing SmackDown's #1 favorite son with SmackDown's #2 favorite son with Braun Strowman,
Yeah.
the #1 transitional champion in SmackDown. They let him hold the IC belt for a couple weeks. Now let him hold the Blue Universal Championship for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Only
So
to lose it a
it's-
month later.
So this entire card has changed because of this COVID-19. So the NXT Women's Title match still is Charlotte versus Rhea Ripley.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. The Raw Women's Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch.
That's another barn burner.
Then there's a fatal 5-way elimination match for the SmackDown Women's Title that has Lacey Evans, Sasha Banks, Naomi, Tamina, and Bayley.
Tamina's still around?
I believe
We lost Dana Brooke.
I believe Tamina is in there because her bestie is supposed to be returning.
She's still.
She was
in-
supposed to be back.
I was gonna say she's still in it because Nia Jax is still hurt.
Well, that's the thing. Nia Jax was supposed to be debuted on SmackDown 2 weeks ago. That's why Paige was supposed to be on introducing whatever. It was supposed to be Nia Jax's return.
She's like the person who announces the weirdest stuff. Like, what can we announce this week? I don't know, but Paige is here.
Yeah.
Paige needs a buck or two.
Then the
Paige,
the
yeah.
Raw Tag Team Title match is now Angel Garza and Austin Theory versus the Street Profits.
It should be a good match.
It should be a great match. It changed from Garza and the United States champion Andrade versus because Andrade pulled out.
Now he's legitimately hurt, right?
Andrade?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I think he already is. I think he injured
he's
himself.
legitimately
Yeah.
hurt in a taping. Yeah.
That happened. I think last week. Raw.
Next week. Yeah. He's legitimately hurt next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back to the Future.
Based off of the results from
Pre-tape.
the Shinsuke Nakamura Drew Gulak match on Friday Night SmackDown, Daniel Bryan will be facing Sami Zayn for the Intercontinental title.
What world do we live in? That this is a WrestleMania match. Like 2 years ago, this would have been amazing.
Yeah.
Why 2 years ago?
Why? Yeah.
Because we had to get Drew Gulak to like
No, Drew
solidify.
Gulak and Daniel Bryan are amazing together. Like the fact that they're like, did you not see their promo of them like pumping up and like being stupid before that match? No,
I didn't because I don't watch shitty wrestling.
You also had a big event this weekend.
I still watch SmackDown
Yeah.
because it was free in a hospital.
That's right. Okay, so there's a one-on-one ladders. Listen to this.
A one-on-one tag team ladder match.
There's a one-on-one tag team title ladder match
What?
between one of the Usos and John Morrison.
The fuck just happened? Like,
It's
are you
because
being
Miz.
serious?
Yes, no.
I'm
According
sorry
to
for
this,
dropping the F-bomb,
But
but
you
whoa.
just announced on SmackDown too that the New Day was added to the ladder
Yeah.
match too. It was supposed to be
yeah.
a
So
three,
it's
a
it's sup-
three-team ladder match.
so it's
just
supposed
got
to
knocked
be-
to a one-on-one ladder match. For
so
the tag team.
it's supposed to be. It's been, according to this, has been changed from the New Day versus the Usos versus.
Vince needs to take WrestleMania 36 behind the shed and put it out of its misery because this is terrible.
Okay, and
They're
that's-
all gonna pick a
that-
kid from the
Shame.
crowd.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
no.
This is match 7 of 16. Okay. You think I'm joking? Then there's a WWE Women's Tag Team Titles match between Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss versus the Kabuki Warriors.
They're blindfolded,
Okay.
and they're each going to start with 3 hot dogs.
Then the Edge versus Randy Orton Last Man Standing match. There's a lot of gimmick matches in this WrestleMania this
Because
year.
I feel like that's going to bring
Yeah.
value to it.
What the hell is a Boneyard match? The Undertaker versus
you
AJ
obviously
Styles.
had a really shitty high school upbringing.
Apparently,
Let
yes.
me and Jeremy tell
Please,
you what a boneyard
what is a boneyard
match?
match? Please enlighten me.
So you get about 3 Heinekens deep. You take that special lady up to the bluff.
It says slaughter bottom, Lonnie.
Hey.
My wife is going to be very happy with that.
Take that special lady up to the bluff.
I feel like this is going this is not where we wanted
I
to
have
go.
no idea what
Okay.
a boneyard match
Well,
is.
hopefully,
I'm sure it's like the New Day versus the Wyatt family, like their idea of, because it's all pre-taped, so they can
Yeah.
do some neat.
Can't be as bad as the stairs match. Do you remember that?
oh yeah,
You
the
don't remember?
tables, ladders, chairs, and stairs match. It was
Yeah.
Big Show and
Luke Harper.
yes,
That was the worst.
TLC and S is what it was.
Yeah.
It was
So-
tables, ladders, and chairs and stairs.
Stepping away, because WWE, I gotta, like, every once in a while, I gotta step away and take my medicine so I can get through this. But speaking of stairs, have you seen the stuff that Rosemary and Jessica Havoc have been doing in Impact with the stairs stuff?
No,
Like the Mary, the undead.
oh, what's her name? Yeah, I know who you're talking about though.
Like hanging each other
Yeah,
off the steps. Like that's like awesome. Like that's horror movie-esque wrestling, and I love it. Anyway, back to shitty wrestling.
boneyard match. Boneyard match. Okay.
Boneyard match.
Hopefully, well, because really we'll explain that. Let's hope.
And did I see the Undertaker is doing like the American Badass
Yes,
gimmick?
they changed it up.
Come the F on.
Didn't they give a reason for why he did that? Why they're doing that?
I think they did. I don't remember what it was though.
Because the
Because AJ went after his wife. Like verbally attacked his wife on.
biker is more terrifying than the dead man who
Apparently.
rises from the grave.
Apparently,
I live across. I don't know if you guys noticed, but like right there is a biker bar. I'm more scared of a zombie than those dudes. Just saying.
Okay.
Uh,
They sing karaoke on Friday nights. Still scared of a zombie.
okay. So we're back to the card. So speaking of things that they could do really well, there's a Firefly Funhouse match with Bray Wyatt and John Cena.
I'm gonna fast forward through everything else besides that match.
Right.
Probably fast forward
You
through that one
want
too.
to see that match?
Yeah, that's what he just said.
Why? Even if it was a normal match, I wouldn't want to watch it.
WWE already screwed me and took away my $10 for the month because I was in the hospital and I didn't get a chance to cancel it on time. So they already have my money, so I'm gonna watch it.
And then to finish up the what's on the card, Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins, Elias versus King Corbin. Which, if you watched, we were talking about.
threw up in my mouth.
We were talking about Lion King before, and I feel like your son's not in here, so I'm like a missed opportunity. But it was literally, if you go back and watch SmackDown, it is literally frame by frame, Scar killing Mufasa from the top of that thing, and Elias just falling down. It is literally like frame for frame. Yeah. Anyway, Bobby Lashley versus Aleister Black.
Why is that?
Why?
taking
Yeah, I don't-
place?
So thrown together.
Oh, we need 3 more matches because we're doing 2 nights. So you two go.
Was it just because, like, I'm assuming, I have no idea,
I'm gonna guess that was supposed to be a pre-show match.
reason behind that match was because Lashley was like, I'll fight you,
Yeah.
because he was a cage fighter, maybe?
I don't know. And then the last match I have is Otis versus Dolph Ziggler, which should be very entertaining. Otis of Heavy Machinery.
No, we know.
Yeah. Okay.
We
Is
know.
Mandy Rose going to be out
I
there?
don't-
Mandy
No.
Rose in a shark cage?
Yeah. I don't know.
Wow. I don't know. This is going to be interesting to say the least. to
And then
watch.
Hulk Hogan cameos the whole time, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Uh,
He just comes out and leg drops the
Tiger.
winner of every match.
Hey, thanks, Luke. We appreciate it. We said Luke, my buddy Luke, just texted me, said we look great live. So appreciate that, Luke.
Hey, you know, people, you can comment.
Yeah,
too.
comment on Facebook,
I'm
guys.
watching the stream, so I can. If you have questions, I will see it, and I will.
And after pretty soon here.
Now mailbag.
the Now mailbag. And when we open up the Now mailbag, we'll do the comments there. We'll also open up the phone line for you guys to call in live, talk to us online. And we'll probably do that mailbag after the Balls Deep segment with Lonnie Slaughterbottom.
Hell yes.
Hell yes. So, yeah, those of you, WrestleMania this Saturday and Sunday, both nights are scheduled to begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's Saturday night the 4th and Sunday night the 5th.
Next weekend.
This
But
upcoming weekend.
Yeah, this weekend. What do you-
I don't know. But if you don't want to watch it, which whatever. It's your choice. It's your life. Live your best life. Resident Evil 3 does come out this weekend too.
Uh-huh. Didn't the Final
Where?
Fantasy...
Next weekend.
That's next weekend?
Yeah.
Where?
Well, if you bought it
Oh,
through
it's a video
GameStop, you can't go get it.
Lost me there.
So random Impact Wrestling announcement, because we usually never talk about Impact Wrestling on here. I don't think we ever
I don't
have.
know why.
I know we really
Yeah,
should.
That's
I mean,
interesting.
yeah, we don't. Which
You might
we
change your mind.
I really don't think so.
Impact
I
Wrestling.
love Impact.
Impact Wrestling released a public service announcement. Take a look.
Yes, we'd rather be in the ring.
Yes, we'd rather be traveling.
To entertain the loyal hivelings.
But yes, we too are at home.
Not where we'd like to be.
Not what we'd like to be doing.
But everyone at Impact Wrestling is committed.
You are the impact.
You are the impact.
You're the impact.
You're the impact.
To slow the spread of COVID-19, the coronavirus.
Listen and follow the instructions to flatten the curve.
If you feel sick, stay home. Don't go to work. Contact your medical provider.
Avoid social gatherings and groups.
Wash your hands. Avoid touching your face.
Sneeze and cough into a tissue or into your elbow. I call it the Dracula.
Disinfect frequently used items and surfaces as much as possible.
Yes, we can make an impact.
Because you.
You are the impact.
You're the impact.
You're the impact.
You are the impact.
And yes, we will be back inside of an Impact Wrestling ring.
Thoughts? Jeremy?
I was expecting a joke at the it felt like a
It was a
SNL skit
legit
or-
serious thing. Yeah.
I mean, good on them, I guess, but
The Rosemary with the macabre cleaning her butcher's blade.
that's just, whew. A lot of them didn't even. I don't know. I'm not touching.
Well, I just want to point something out. You guys are giving them shit. We have a proper way how to wash your hands.
Well,
on
you're
the
not
wall.
pointing at it correctly. There you go. We do. It's up on our final word.
And
banner.
I've got the Trump thing. I don't know where it is.
The what?
You chucked it.
I chucked it because I didn't want to. Oh, there it is.
Anyway.
It's the thing that everybody got in the mail.
Oh, yeah.
The rules. And nowhere on here, I just want to point this out, people. Nowhere on this list of things to do does it say keep a clean asshole. So you could lighten up on the toilet paper. Like, keeping a clean asshole is not going to prevent you from getting the coronavirus. So lighten up on the toilet paper. Jesus.
My gosh. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I saw that today and I was like, okay, Logan, you really, I got to send this to Logan right now. Yeah.
Why is Taya Valkyrie on there? I thought she wasn't on the roster anymore.
Apparently she is. I also find it very funny that Joey Ryan's wearing a Tegan Knox shirt, but that's just me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's.
I love.
The hell is going on?
I love it. I love it.
I like the music. That's what made me think it was a joke.
I love Kylie Ray so much. Like, I look at her and she just makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
She calls it the Dracula.
The Dracula. Yeah, the Dracula. Yeah. All right. AEW news. Did you watch Wednesday night, Lonnie?
No, I didn't.
Oh my God.
You know, I was watching my wife squirt out a baby.
Squirt out a baby.
Squeak.
So
that's what it sounds like. Squeak.
After Wednesday night. Oh, hello. After Wednesday night, I did not know that I needed a Vanguard 1 Chris Jericho promo.
Spoiler alert, you still don't.
It was probably one of the most entertaining things of that entire show. It was literally Chris Jericho for 5 minutes trying to convince Vanguard 1 to join the Inner Circle.
I didn't get to see it.
Oh my God, it's good. It is priceless. Yeah, and then what was really interesting about that entire segment is Chris Jericho had a lavalier mic. He didn't have a handheld RF. He literally had a lav mic in the middle of the ring to make it more personal, because why would you need an RF microphone when you can just be connected to the camera?
I'm surprised more wrestlers don't do that.
Right.
Elias does. But that makes sense for him. But yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that fits Jericho's character. It's more, what's the word I'm looking for? Casual.
Pretentious.
Sure. Yeah, that too.
Yeah. I don't know. Weird. And what I didn't realize until, what was it, Saturday, that Luchasaurus, former WWE guy, by the name of Judas, and I had no idea. He was actually on one of my favorite shows, Big Brother. He was on Big Brother. Judas was.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Luchasaurus was Judas until like Saturday. I was like, okay, now I see it. All the tattoos. Now I see it. I don't know.
I think he could be something special if he loses that gimmick.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got something to bring up that happened in the wrestling world this
weekend.
weekend.
Go ahead, Lonnie.
Good guy Teddy Hart.
Oh, yeah.
Had himself a run-in with the law.
Again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't he like weekly? Isn't that like something that happens all the time with him?
Yeah, I don't know how long he's being put away for, but I think it's 3 to 5 years for choking out one of Ace Montoya, I believe is his name. Ace Montoya's friends. And good old Ace Montoya pulled a gun on him. He has a Twitter video of forcing him out the door. They called the cops on him. Cops came and picked him up, and he's now in the good old cage. I don't know all the details. Like I said, it was just a half asleep video I seen on the internet. Probably shouldn't be commenting on it because I don't know half the details. But like I said, good guy Teddy Hart.
That's just
behind bars.
Well, you have more facts than the majority of the people on the news medias and whatnot. I mean,
right.
You probably just have just as enough as they do. People will say something with even less than what you just said.
Right.
There's really not a lot going on.
With these two. Being called out last night on Facebook for the flipping push-up challenge.
Push-up challenge, yeah. See, I didn't know what was going on at first. I just saw push-up challenge and then them both eating a push-up pop. So I literally thought, because I had it on mute because I was painting, and I thought that challenge was to actually eat a push-up pop.
Yeah. So if those of you have no idea what I'm talking about, we're going to show you this video.
All right, so we've been nominated for the push-up challenge by both Kim Cobb, and I have had Slater give it to me too, so I have 2.
I hate push-ups.
Yeah, this is going to be kind of grueling, so are you ready for it?
Oh, let's do it.
All right. These are hard. God, I didn't know it was so hard. There we go.
Should have went with lemon.
2. You're in our way. 3. This is grueling. 4.
I go over the top.
My palms hurt so badly. All right, 5. 5.
Gotta get through it. Gotta get through it for the fam.
6. I think I may have drooled on camera. I'm getting some vitamin C from this workout, though.
I'm glad I went with lemon.
7.
Oh. It actually hurts a lot. Oh.
9. I'm in for the last one. I'll make this big. It's going to be the biggest push-up you've ever seen.
Right,
Are you ready for this push-up?
Holy shit.
Oh, my head's gonna hurt.
You're too much of a man for me.
Well.
Brain freeze.
We should have played that without video.
So,
Just audio.
so spoiler alert, when you see me pick that up off the ground, that fucker was covered in dog hair. So that first bite was so gross.
If you guys think I'm doing 10 push-ups, you're crazy.
Not even with the push-up pop?
See, that kind of exercise I can get behind, guys. Like that right there. Oh, absolutely.
But you guys already did the push-up pop. Now we're just going to be copycats if we do
Right.
that. We got to come up with something.
Push pop. The little.
Oh,
I was thinking of like something like what else, and I was telling
You said push-up bras,
Ryan
didn't you?
before. Yeah, I said do something with push-up bras, but I don't know what the
Where are
hell
you
I'd be
going to get
doing.
those?
I don't know.
Take off 10 push-up bras on Ryan.
What?
No! To the balls deep theme.
The ball. Speaking of balls deep, are you ready?
I got a doozy
folks,
for you guys
For
this
those
week.
of you that don't know what's about to happen, Lonnie is going to do a famous promo tonight, brought to you by Jeremy, who Jeremy found this promo tonight. And it is up to Jeremy and I to see if we can figure
Not Jeremy. Jeremy picked it.
Oh, Joel, so it's me. Great. Me and you, the fans, to figure out who said this promo. So I guess take it away, Lonnie. Cue the music.
All right. Oh boy. Hey, listen up. There's been a lot of sports writers, sports centers flapping their yaps about us getting soft. Ha ha ha. Soft to you? Does this look soft to you? Well, I'll tell you what. There's one part of our bodies that's soft. And ain't soft all the time. If you catch my meaning. Ric Flair. New York City Ric Flair. You're gonna find out what's hard is all about. Because from time to time, I get in the ring with you, Guppy. It's gonna be a hard night, all night long. And you can forget about your limousines, your pretty girls, and your diamond rings. Because you don't mean diddly-do squat. When I get done with you, Space Mountain will be closed for repairs. Ryan Russo, name that promo.
Oh, God. It ended with the music so perfectly.
Oh, gosh.
I will give you a hint.
It's AWA for sure.
Mid-South.
Jesus. Oh. Mid-South. Golly. That doesn't sound like Dusty. It's not a Hogan promo.
Doesn't sound like anybody.
It doesn't sound like anybody. Well, the way that Lonnie read it, no, it doesn't sound like anybody. God, who would call Ric Flair soft back in that day? AWA. Bruno wasn't there.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
The guy that, when he's saying it, it's
He's saying it?
It's intense. The guy that's saying it, when he says it.
Oh, said it. Oh, I thought you said he sang it.
It's intense.
It's a very different cadence.
Yeah.
Man.
Say I added a couple bars to it.
Yeah.
I'd say so.
Golly. No, when I think of Mid-South, I honestly think of Dusty Rhodes, and I think of all of those promos that he had with against Flair. So, but I don't think it's Dusty. Or is it?
Poker face, baby.
Yeah. My gut is telling me Dusty, so I'm going to say Dusty Rhodes.
It is not Dusty Rhodes.
Oh.
So now it's open to the fans.
Which one is it? That works. That works. Dang.
So-
All right, fans, what do you got? Post in comments here. And at this point, we'll open up mailbag. We'll open up the now mailbag for your answers and phone calls. If you got an answer. If you want to call in, the phone number you can call is, where'd it go? Is 402-835-0528. Once again, 402-835-0528. Call us if you got an answer or post in Facebook.
I've been strictly informed by Now management not to argue with phone calls this week.
About time. Why you shouldn't argue with people in general there, Lonnie.
Why not? I'm the heel.
The customer's always right. So they say.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the video going around about the old guy at the convenience store sits a soda on the counter. The cashier goes to grab it to scan it, and he grabs it back and says, "Bitch, Corona." And it just cracks me up every time.
Couldn't do that at Hy-Vee.
No, not at all.
I've got that
Did
2
the
foot
glass.
by 4 foot plexiglass.
I can't say anything bad about him. I work for him.
I used to work for him too.
Once again, 402-835-0528. Phone lines are open, as well as comments on Facebook. Do we have any questions or comments on Facebook, Jeremy, that we can talk about while we're waiting?
We actually got one.
We got a call.
We got a call.
Hold on.
Hang on.
Hang on. Where you're on, we just got to connect. Is this Josh?
About to call in. I just hung up on him.
Oh.
Call back.
Oh, it's Josh. We missed him. Nuts. Next caller. Josh, call back, buddy.
He gave you crap about you. About what? Did you show him one of the first comments that Josh said about the poor baby?
I didn't get that.
Poor baby.
Yeah, he said, "I feel bad for the baby," is what he said.
Oh.
I didn't get that comment.
Maybe on Relic Hunters, the dude can find some
All right.
class.
Hey, now the final word. Who we got?
Hello.
Hello?
Yeesh. Is there somebody there?
Hello?
Maybe you should turn up the one that has the phone on it.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
There we go.
There we go.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, can you guys hear me? This
Yes,
is Josh.
absolutely. Hey, buddy.
Hooray, it's Josh.
You sound so excited to hear from
Well,
me.
after your
it's
comments
like-
you put, yeah, I showed it to him.
It's like getting a lobotomy. It's my favorite part of the week. Did you find
Well, I
did
just
you
wanted
find
to
any
call-
did you find any charm this week in your relic hunting?
Oh, I did. It was one with your name on it. too.
All right. How are you, buddy?
I'm pretty good. I'm just glad to have gotten through with you guys, and hope everybody's staying safe.
Yeah, buddy.
We are.
We got a comment or a question for us tonight, Josh?
Has anybody answered what the promo's from?
No, you're the first person to guess, as long as you didn't Google it.
No, I did not Google it.
Okay.
You know me.
Yeah.
But I don't know a lot about Mid-South. There we go. But I want to say it. I want to say it was Jake the Snake, maybe.
It was not Jake the Snake. It was a good guess, but it was not Jake the Snake.
There it is.
Oh, I feel special with the sound effects.
Well, I'm in charge of them now, so yes, they put me in charge. It's great. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, thanks for letting me through, guys.
Thanks, Josh. Have a great night, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, bud.
No, I wouldn't. I knew I wouldn't be able to say Jake the Snake because we already had one from him on this.
Hey, there could be repeats.
They're multiple.
Yeah.
He's the best promo of all time. If you think we're gonna not go back to him,
Well, you're talking about his most recent one too.
oh, dude,
I almost feel like I should give a hint for this.
Okay, give a
don't
hint.
give a hint because
Yeah.
we'll call Pete. If
Okay.
no one
so,
gets
Oh,
it-
so
true.
After Pete,
Yeah.
After Pete, well, if nobody gets it, I'll give a hint.
Yeah, we those of you who don't know, we actually have Pete Sanctions on as our guest tonight. We'll get
Finally.
finally
get Pete.
We've had to cancel on him a couple of times. I'm glad we were
Yes.
able to get him on tonight. But yeah, any other comments on Facebook here?
I don't have like anything. I mean, there was a couple, like Geneva said she didn't know that about Luchasaurus.
Yeah.
Just like I watched his season of Big Brother.
Yes,
too,
thank you,
so.
Geneva. That's what I'm saying. Like when I had heard that he was one of the NXT Performance Center originals.
Was he really?
Judas was, that I didn't know. Yeah, crazy things to find out.
It's interesting if you go and you look up like some people, like current wrestlers, and look at their past. There's a lot of things you'll find out about them that you didn't know. Pretty much everybody has been in the WWE at some point in time.
Yeah.
Like I found it interesting about Ciampa. He was the lawyer back during the Ruthless Aggression era.
Yeah.
He was the lawyer for somebody, and he got like chokeslammed by the Undertaker. Like if you watch that video, he definitely does not look like him because he doesn't have the beard. He's got hair and all that stuff. It's interesting.
Yeah. Charles Kirkhope has a couple of guesses.
Okay.
Where are you seeing these at? Because
it's on my host. I'm hosting on my on my party. I had to make sure what is your official guess because he has two different ones on here unless these are the same person. He has Ted DiBiase.
Nope.
No.
And then he also wrote Mr. Wonderful.
It is not.
Yeah. So no, Charles, you're wrong.
I
Sorry, wrong one. There we go. Sorry. There is where to go. Lonnie probably threw it away
Is it
at the
under
Trump
the
thing.
board?
Is it under the board? No, it is. Oh no! Whoa!
You just unplugged everything.
Aha! No, it is not under the board.
We're live, pal.
I know. I'm sorry.
F it, we'll do it live.
F it, we'll do it live. Beer can.
Thing sucks.
Get a beer can.
The root beer can.
By the way, you know, I'm straight edge. Lonnie's straight edge.
We're not sponsored.
I know.
I don't anymore.
Logan and Ryan, you guys don't.
I
really
don't do
drink
it.
that much.
No, my wife does not drink, so through proxy, I do not.
So I brought us all some Dad's root beer.
Not sponsored by Dad's root beer.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by him.
Dad's root beer here
to celebrate Moxley. So that's
Dad's old fashioned root beer. Not sponsored by Dad's old fashioned root beer.
And yes, so
caffeine free.
All you marks, I did name my son Moxley.
Yes, he did.
But is that why you named him Moxley?
Shut
because
up,
of
shut
John
up.
Moxley?
Yeah. What is the real
Shut up,
reason?
Jeremy. I love the name.
Mm-hmm.
I've just always loved the name.
Right. Did you only come up with this name in the last 4 months?
No.
Okay, just making sure.
Chrissy liked the name.
Yeah, it's a great name.
I like it. It's different.
It's a powerful name. Yeah, it was gonna be Moxley, whether it was a boy or a girl, just spelled differently.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I once had a parakeet named Moxley.
Did you really?
No.
I didn't think.
Gosh.
Someone had a dog named Moxley. No, his name was Trevor.
That.
Any other comments, questions? I don't.
Should we go to our to Pete?
I think we'll get
take a break.
Yeah, we're gonna take a 5-minute break here. We're gonna get Pete Sanctions on the line, and we will be right back.
Oh.
guys. Trios. Tell me right. Yeah. You ain't ready for this shit, man. Let's go. Pulled out the coupe out a lot. Tell him 512 fucks what? Busting out the base out the box. I just hit the league with a box. Head up with a stick in a box. Put up the whole damn till I'ma get lazy. I got a mojo, this was dropping like 80s. She's like a nigga, so got a cash up. Told her wipe a nigga no. Say slash that I would never sell my soul. And I can make that. And I really wanna know where you at. I was so bad, where the stash at? Cause I seen it in a bulletproof Cadillac.
All right, folks, we are back now. The Final Word podcast. Ryan, Lonnie, Jeremy, and Logan. And on the phone tonight, we have Pete Sanctions. Pete, how we doing?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing well, buddy. Glad you could be on the show.
Yep. No problem.
Took us a while to get to you, buddy. I'm sorry. Things got in the way, and then the virus got in the way, and then my wife's crotch goblin got in the way, but I'm glad we're finally here together.
Yep.
You don't sound very enthused, Pete.
I'm all right. I just woke up from a nap a little bit ago, so, but I'm good.
Well, hopefully you're doing good. I haven't talked to you in a while.
Yep. Yeah. But, I started a new job this week, so after about 2 weeks of being unemployed and sleeping in and being whatever, like however lazy I want. It's time to get back to the swing of things. So.
Yeah, the last time I saw you, Pete, was Now This Is Money. We had that trivia challenge in our pre-show. How do you, thinking back on that, well, how was that experience for you?
I've been doing the local wrestling trivia contest before around town, and it was nice to finally do it, kind of sort of have an audience. And like the questions were tough. Even Joe, as much as people don't like him, like he was stumped a few times, and yeah, we were both challenged that day, so it was fun. It was a good experience.
Yeah, I think if we get another chance to do it and get you a little bit to redeem yourself, we'll probably do it in a different format. Maybe get rid of the bells and just ask you one question at a time, and if the other one doesn't get it, just see if the other person can steal, type of thing.
Yeah, I still say that the Rumble question was right as far as how long of a time period that Rumble was.
Yeah, that was an audience question too, which Lonnie didn't pre-screen, so.
Oh.
Blame it on me.
Yes, I will blame it on you, Lonnie.
So let's dive into your past a little bit, Pete. How long have you been involved in the indie wrestling?
It'll be 17 years this August. My first show was August 30th of 2003, and that's when I started as ring announcer, and then I transitioned into refereeing for a short time, but altogether, it's currently 16 years that I've been doing this, and there's no signs of stopping.
Who was the first company you got your start with?
The company's name was called NRW, New Revolution Wrestling. It was formerly the Omaha Wrestling Association, the OWA.
Okay.
And for any fans of the Nebraska Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the OWA is prominently featured in that. And that company, even though it was around for only 3 or 4 years, made a huge impact on the business in the area because, like Maury said, it hadn't been here since 1971. There was a huge dry spell of independent wrestling in the area until the year 2000. It gave us a breath of fresh air in terms of that form of entertainment because if we were lucky, we would get the WWF once or twice a year. But I started with NRW, which was the last incarnation of the OWA promotion.
Yeah, we've talked on our podcast with Jane Drago and Abu Colossus about OWA and the importance of OWA in the Omaha metro area. So, did you train with OWA as a referee then, or did you? Because you're trained as a referee and as an in-ring performer, correct?
Yes, I am able to referee and ring announce. What originally ended up happening was my sister worked with someone whose dad was a professional wrestler, a guy by the name of Austin Storm, Hall of Fame inductee Austin Storm, and he just wrote me a handwritten letter, which I still have to this day, and he's like, next time we have a show, I'll let you announce me, because I picked up on the inspiration to ring announce, of course, from Howard Finkel, as I'm sure a lot of ring announcers are inspired by him. But yes, I have ring announcing and refereeing to my repertoire, as well as the actual in-ring aspect, even though I haven't ring announced since last. Even though I haven't wrestled since last April, I believe it was. But yeah, I'm the sort of multifaceted in terms of trying to grab every role of the business that I can, because just to be on there and out there is my goal, no matter what my role. Just as long as I'm involved, then things are going to be just fine.
Right. And the amazing thing about you is you have such a mind for the business, and you have such an amazing memory when it comes to stats and whatnot with the business. Do you have a idea of how many companies you've ring announced for in your career?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very much a nerd at heart, and I have I did have a website with statistics of every show I did or whatever, but I haven't updated that in a while, so I think I'm just gonna let that shut itself down because I do still write down each and every show that I do, and coincidentally, I'm at my computer right now, so I will tell you in a minute.
So while you're looking that up, so I believe I was at the last time you were in a wrestling match. It was in a Royal Rumble, wasn't it not?
Let's see.
I'm trying to think. It was that Grand Island show you and I were at.
It was Grand Island,
Yeah.
and then I went on to wrestle again after that. I'd say a few months after that for Magnum Pro.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody how you won that Royal Rumble in Grand Island there, Pete?
Okay. It goes like this. Basically, the Rumble came down to me and Jason Strife, and anybody who knows Jason Strife is that he likes to call himself Midwest best kept secret in terms of his popularity and the influence that he's had. So it came down to me and him, and he just grabs me, he throws me into the turnbuckle, and I just bounce off the turnbuckle onto the canvas. I'm like, oh, what have I signed up for here? I've managed to survive this long. But he just goes over and then tries to join. All right. Parental guidance is suggested. He goes over and tries to reach for my dick, right? And for some reason, I don't even know what happened. I don't want any scientists or doctors contacting me, but he was overcome by this great strength, almost like he was brought to his knees by this great force. And I was like, okay, let's just roll with it, right? So I flex, we're to the ropes, and he's just miraculously flipped over the ring onto the floor, and I won that battle royal for Magnum Pro Legends Fall in Grand Island. Again, I don't physically know how it happened. It's like, it was unexplained, but it gave me my advantage. And I'm actually, even though I'm not a regular performer as a professional wrestler, I'm still undefeated. So I got that going for me.
Now, when we were at Phase 2, when we had Joey Ryan at Phase 2, did you feel nervous about him coming up to you? Because obviously something like that, he would have had to have heard about it, right?
I mean, a guy like Joey Ryan, as in demand as he is, like when you are wrestling almost every week and every weekend, or at the very least 2 to 3 times a week, you're not really concerned about, is anybody else doing my gimmick? But part of me was concerned because I was like, I mean, he really has to take every precaution because the type of stuff he does, I mean, is it the most sanitary thing in the world? Probably not. So, but I mean, I was a little concerned, but I knew he was a professional, and I knew that he's a consummate performer in the ring, even though since the popularity of the Dick Flippin' Joey Ryan, we haven't seen work rate Joey Ryan in terms of any fans of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla from the early 2000s. He could get in there with anybody, especially people from our area, make them look like $1 million and just have a great match. Not to say he can't do that now because times have changed, but maybe we'll see the old Joey Ryan back at some point in the future. But anytime he goes out there, he always is just entertaining, and it just works. And he just puts a smile on people's faces and puts grimaces on other people's faces. But even then, it's like he's still going at it after all these years, and he's found something that works for him, and he's found something that people, no pun intended, grab onto.
I mean, if you could make that much pop with your dick, I mean, why wouldn't you?
Right.
And stepping away from wrestling, not only that, you have a great career in comedy as well. I'm sure a lot of people know that about you.
Yes, that's correct.
Talk a little bit about that. You do a lot of open mic nights, but you also have a lot of your name in lights.
If in lights you mean on a flyer, duct taped or scotch taped to a bar window, or
How is that
Or
any
le-
different than a wrestling show there, Pete? I mean,
yeah, that's kind of the same thing, but yeah, it's so far 6 years I've been doing stand-up comedy, and very much like the local wrestling scene, I had been a fan of the performance art for a long time, but never knew there was a local scene, and never knew there were places you could actually go try it. And the fact that I've been a ring announcer with a mic in my hand for so long, it came very natural to me that being up in front of the crowd with a mic in my hand. So it took away some of the nerves, but not all. So I like to have a delicate balance. Like, I do 1 or 2 wrestling shows a month, and then I do open mics and actual comedy shows in between to sort of balance that out. And I love performing. I love telling jokes and making people laugh. And it's sort of the same sort of performance art and the same method, except it's less taxing on your body.
Right.
You try to make people laugh, you try to make people feel something, you try to dictate certain emotions, and then make sure they get their money's worth, and make sure that you can move certain pieces of the person's emotional or physical psyche to make them forget about their bad job, bad relationship, bad day at work, and that's why they went out. They wanted to be entertained, So it's the same idea, but it's a good combination. I'm happy to have that in my life.
Right.
and wasn't it last year you were in a pretty big contest, were you not? A comedy contest?
I was part of the Metro Comedy Showdown, which was at the Ralston Arena side room, which was another full circle moment for me because I had, until that time, I had wrestled, ring announced, and told jokes in the same venue. And basically it was, let's see, and because I'm such a mark for myself, I have all my comedy flyers on my room, so I'll tell you the dates in a minute. It was from, let's see, March 8th to April 26th, and the winners, first place winners, got a cash prize, and then second, third, and fourth place winners won suite tickets to see Gabriel Iglesias when he came to Ralston Arena a short time later. And I had a goal, like, I'm not out to win the whole thing. I just want to meet Fluffy because he's one of the most popular, most inspirational comedians there is. So when I got fourth place, I was very happy. And again, another full circle moment in the same building where I've seen NXT a few times, and in the same building that Magnum Pro built those memories. I was able to see one of my great heroes in comedy and also meet and greet with him. So it was great.
And so, how did you do in that contest there, Pete? What did you place?
I came in fourth, but I was happy with my performance each time, and had a group of the Magnum guys come out. So it always feels nice to introduce my comedy friends to wrestling, my wrestling friends to comedy, and I just wish there'd be more of a turnover in terms of more comedy friends coming to wrestling and more wrestling friends coming to comedy. But it's nice to see those two worlds intersect from time to time.
So for those people who are getting into the performing arts and maybe starting into being on stage and performing in front of people, what piece of advice could you give them from being a ring announcer and a comedian to make them more comfortable in front of people, maybe make them coming out of their shell? What can you tell them?
I would say to sort of have an image in your mind. And again, it's not the cliche, like just picture them in their underwear, because that never works. But
not in the Midwest anyway.
But just to have an image in your mind of what you want to accomplish and what kind of performer you want to be and what you want to perform, whether it's music, poetry, comedy, wrestling, any type of performance art, and have a clear image in your mind of what you want to accomplish in that medium. And then also how you want to go about performing. Do you want to go up there and just tell some obligatory nasty jokes just to get a gross out reaction from the crowd and think that will be your ticket to superstardom? Or do you want to go up there after a couple years of training when you know you're ready and when you know you're ready to get out in front of people and try to put on a good performance for those fans? Because whether it's comedy, wrestling, any type of performance art, those people are there to be entertained, and they are there to suspend their disbelief, or in just some cases, they're there just to have a good time, just to blow off some steam, just to have something else to occupy their time with. And I think it really just brings people together and helps people forget about their problems for a while. And in some cases, like, you know, examples of this in the real world are hard to come by. You know, you never hear a person say, "Oh, I was on the edge of despair. I was at death's door, and I thought I wasn't going to make it. I thought my existence was over as we knew it, but then I went to that comedy show." But I truly think that it can help people move through difficult times when maybe they don't see what's inside of themselves. Like, I was born with cerebral palsy, 3 months premature to be exact, and I performed for Creighton film students recently, and one of them walked up to me after the show and was like, you know, "I just want you to know I have cerebral palsy about the same severity that you do, and I really appreciate you going up and telling those jokes because I make the same jokes about myself." So it was nice to connect with someone on that level, and in any performance art, you have the ability to do that, and it's just great every time it happens.
Well, let's talk about that. What does it mean to you to have somebody like that come up to you, you know, and basically thank you for being a positive role model with people with what you're going with?
That told me at that moment, you've done your job, you've set out to do what you wanted to do. You have gone up there and performed maybe a little bit on autopilot, maybe you mixed in some new stuff, maybe you kind of just weren't feeling it that night, but you've reached out and you've actually touched someone that has a similarity to your journey and your upbringing, and for them to relate to it and for them to say, you know what, I didn't really think there was other people with the same disorder, or I didn't think there was people with the same disorder, using that in a positive light, like turning a negative into a positive. So that just told me, like, it took 6 years, but you reached out and you did it. And there's no reason you should stop now, because who knows who you might reach next and who knows who you might help next just with your words alone.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, I don't mean to put you on the spot here, but could you do your Ultimate Warrior bit from your stand-up set?
I don't know if it'll come through well on the connection.
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear, buddy. So you go right ahead.
Okay. All right. I just have to take an obligatory sip of water to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying I won't be able to do the impression without it. Because I just woke up from a nap a little bit ago. My throat's a little dry and been kind of in a migraine aura the past couple of weeks.
Oh,
and
I
anxiety's
understand that.
been up and down. So
you got it.
All right, here we go.
The family that I live for only breathes the air that smells of combat. Come on in. Where nightmares are the best part of my day. Exit stage left. Exit stage right. The fuses in the exit signs have been burned out. Because with this intercourse, you and I will become one. Because we are closer to parts unknown.
That was fantastic, buddy.
And of course the punchline is, of course I'm talking to myself because she left, and that ties it together. But and funny fact, like, there have been a couple wrestlers like Ultimate Warrior and Jake the Snake Roberts where their first run in the WWF or a major promotion wasn't my exposure to them. It was their second or third run.
Oh.
Most people say, oh, I used to watch Ultimate Warrior in the 80s, but My first exposure was 96 for my first WWF show I ever went to. And Jake the Snake Roberts was the same thing. I had vaguely heard about him on the first run, but my first exposure was 96 as well. So sometimes that happens, but I think no matter when you get introduced to a performer, then it opens up a whole new world of possibilities in terms of what their inspiration can do for you and how many more performers and more styles and aspects of the business that you love you have yet to discover. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay, so Pete, we want you to play. We're gonna have this Lonnie read something for you. This is our segment we call Balls Deep with Lonnie. Basically, what he does is he reads a promo from a wrestler from anywhere in the last 40 to 50 years, and
probably 50 to 60.
Yeah,
at
this
point.
one, yeah. But he says it in a very sexual tone, and I want to see if you can guess who said the promo. Okay.
Now, when you say sexual tone,
you'll understand when you hear it.
Does he put on that overnight radio jazz
Oh
DJ
yeah.
voice?
Oh, 100%, Pete.
Yeah, like when he explained the rules of now this is money to the crowd in a very NPR style, I was like, yeah, Lonnie's getting it.
Yeah. So he's gonna read the entire promo for you, and then we'll see if you have a guess. Okay.
Okay.
And you have to wait till he finishes the promo. Okay.
Okay.
All right, take it away, Lonnie.
You gotta
Sorry. All
There's
right.
no music.
What happened? I didn't do anything.
There's
Go
no.
ahead, Lonnie.
All right, hold on. We're gonna do it without music.
Okay.
There's music going.
No, they're not my headphones.
Just go.
Okay, sorry. All right, here we go. Oh boy. Hey, listen up. There's been a lot of sports writers and sports centers flapping their yaps about us getting soft. Oh, ha ha ha. Does this look soft to you? Does this look soft to you? Well, I'll tell you what. There's one part of our bodies that's soft. And it ain't soft all the time if you catch my drift or catch my meaning. Ric Flair. New York City Ric Flair. We're gonna find out what hard is all about. Because from the time I get in the ring with you, Guppy, it's gonna be a hard night all night long. And you can forget about your limousines, your pretty girls, and your diamond rings. Because you don't mean diddly-do squat. When I get done with you, Space Mountain will be closed for repairs.
Okay, Pete. What do you got?
Well, this isn't my guess, but it's almost like if Stu Hart auditioned for a phone sex line. But
There we go.
my guess is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Nope.
That's what I said too.
It is not Dusty Rhodes, Pete.
Oh, okay.
Man, yeah. I mean, we're kind of past the point of.
Should I give a hint?
Yeah, give a hint. Maybe Pete will get the hint.
It's the person that said it is part of a tag team.
Uh-huh. Let's see. 'Cause he was talking about all night long. He was talking about the sports writers.
We'll say this. We'll give you this hint, Pete. It's a very different cadence.
Yeah, when the guy says it, it's very high, fast-paced, loud, and in your face.
Right. Part of a tag team. Let's see. Road Warrior Animal.
Ooh, you were
Real
close. Close.
Oh, okay. Who was it?
Yeah, we could probably say it now. I mean,
It was the other Road Warrior.
was it
Hawk.
really?
Yes.
With Hawk?
Road Warrior Hawk.
Wow.
It was Hawk saying it, Animal was there, and Paul Ellering were both there, but that was Hawk's portion of it.
Oh, okay. Because when you said it was a very fast paced and rapid fire, that's the way Animal always cut his promos. But then again, Hawk was there to put it all together at the end. And so, yeah, with the sexy voice, it's confusing. But yeah,
Right? Yes.
Yeah.
It's my weekly problem I have. I can't. It's hard to discern. Yeah.
We'll pull it up here so you can hear the actual promo, but it's just my tones. Just even when I
get lost in your tones, Lonnie.
It's the sweet, sweet tones.
All right, let me.
Here we go.
Hang on.
It's loading.
You keep talking, Wayne.
So Pete, we got to put you on the spot. Choose your baby, comedy or wrestling.
It is always going to be wrestling. I love comedy, and I love having it on the side to supplement my passion for wrestling. But it has been the one constant in my life ever since March of 1993, when I was born on the East Coast. We'd go up to Brooklyn, New York, all the time to see my grandma, and I was just sitting in her living room one day, and the words "All American Wrestling" flashed on the screen, and I saw Crush against Doink the Clown and Mr. Perfect and Macho Man and Yokozuna. Like, I was just captivated from that point on. And it's always been a constant in my life because, and this is no secret, I, like most people, struggle with anxiety and depression and, some health issues. And wrestling has always been there for me, to the point where my parents were at the point where I was talking to my mom a few years ago when I was really down and really depressed and really lost and didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And I told her everything. And the first thing she said was, "Pete, I think you need to go to a wrestling show." So it has been the one constant in my life for at least half my life, because I'm 32 now, and I started when I was a skinny, impressionable 16-year-old, and now I'm a slightly less skinny, more impressionable 32-year-old. So wrestling never gives up on you. It never fully goes away. Like, you always come back to it. It's like, in some ways, it's like an abusive girlfriend. Like, she beats you up and takes your money and makes you want to quit and questions everything else in your life, but for some reason you stay and you keep going back, and it's going to keep me coming back if I have anything to do with it.
All right, so I think Jeremy has that promo for us to play.
I'm sorry if it's loud at first.
Don't you look swell today? Oh boy! Hey, listen up! There's been a lot of sports writers and sports editors flapping their yaps about us getting soft. Does this look soft to you, Paul? Does this look soft to you? Well, I'll tell you what. There's one part of our bodies that's soft, and it ain't soft all the time, if you catch my meaning. Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about, because from the time I get in the ring with you, Guppy, it's gonna be a hard night, all night long, and you can forget about your limousines, your pretty girls, and your diamond rings, because they don't mean diddly do squat when I get done with you. When I get done with you, Space Mountain will be closed for repairs. Tell them, Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah. The last time I heard that voice was when I worked for a company called NWS in New Jersey, and headlining the show was The Patriot, but it wasn't Del Wilkes, it was Tom Brandy. And he would use a Road Warrior Hawk voice when talking to the fans and the boys, and like he would peek his head out through the curtain and like say something about rim jobs. I don't know. It was very vague, but yeah.
I mean, you have to be when it comes to rim jobs. You don't want to get in too much detail.
Right.
All right, Pete. So we're just about out of time on our segment here, but give us your final word. What are you looking forward to? Give us your final take tonight.
My final take tonight is that now This Is Wrestling is back with a vengeance. Yes, we may have taken some time off, but it's great to sort of step out of my comfort zone and continue to go out there and entertain the fans and be a part of professional wrestling in the area. So we hope you come out to our next show. Now this is Arson City, and we're still working on a date, but I love coming out there. I love entertaining you guys, and I'm not stopping now, and I appreciate all the support. And you ain't seen nothing yet in terms of what I can do and what Now can do, what Magnum Pro can do. And another quick thing, I'm just happy there's wrestling. There's Magnum Pro, there's PWP. There's just been this infighting of my promotion's better, and this is why you can't work for promotion, and this is why, because we use somebody a certain way, and we draw less people, we draw more people. None of that matters. The fans want wrestling. These promotions are never going to get along, so we just need to accept the fact that there's wrestling and enjoy it, because there may not be a business around if we don't take care of it and nurture it like we're supposed to.
Appreciate it, buddy. Everybody, that was Pete Sanctions. Have a good night, Pete. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, that was Pete Sanctions on Now the Final Word podcast. There's some interesting little tidbits of information we got from Pete tonight.
Pete is a very smart person.
Yeah.
I don't think he gets enough credit. The guy, I think, is probably a human encyclopedia.
Oh, without a doubt.
When it comes to professional wrestling. And I've been to one of Pete's stand-up shows, and
I think we all have, haven't we?
Yeah.
He's hilarious. Like, I was very disappointed he didn't win at the show that we went
Yeah.
to, because I honestly, not being biased or anything, he was the funniest to me.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and there's certain reasons you go to indie shows. Like, you go to enjoy shows, you go to watch the train wrecks, you go to just to be there. And Pete is all of those things put into one. He's every single fan. He's every single environment. He's everything. And he's wrestling.
And he's willing to do anything. He's usually first one there.
Yep.
And he's one of the last ones to leave in
Yeah.
the evening. And he will do whatever you ask of him.
Right.
Yeah, without question. He's
If more people had that mentality when it came to indie wrestling, it'd be an amazing place.
Yeah, it really would.
Do you want to tell him about the message he sent us when we asked him if he wanted to ring announce?
Oh, yeah. So I should try to find it. But so when it was coming to Now This Is Money, and we made the decision that we wanted to have him be the ring announcer for that night, I sent him a message on Facebook. And I said, hey, Pete, would you be interested in being the ring announcer for Now This Is Money? And Pete's response back to me was, do I have Bell's palsy? Or not Bell's, do I have cerebral palsy? Fuck yeah, I'll do it. And I lost it. I was on the floor. Bell's palsy.
Bell's palsy.
That was when I asked Jim Ross if he wanted to ring announcer.
God. All right. So that brings us to so Lonnie, you went last week before we had to postpone because of what did you say? Your wife's it's not legal to repeat what you said.
Crash Goblin.
Your son, your son was born. You told me to come up with. There was an idea that our top fan Matt Patton came on Facebook a couple weeks ago with the top wrestlers, and knowing you, I had to make sure that I outshone you a little bit because your top 10 lists are a little bit over the top and a little bit outrageous.
They're never over the top. They're always 10. They're just a good 10.
Right. Well, I did 25. So this is my top 25 wrestlers of all time. Okay. So these are in order, and it's all based on their career, their look, their in-ring ability, and mic skills, and their markability. So 2 weeks. You gave me 2 weeks to do this, and a week and I did it.
And this is going to be in
order.
Okay.
Okay. Number 25, Ultimate Warrior.
Already, your list is awful.
Well, calm down. Number 24, Chris Benoit.
24?
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. I can
He's
do what I
number
want.
2 on mine.
Number 23, Ricky Steamboat.
Okay.
22, Eddie Guerrero. 21, Jake the Snake. Number 20, Mr. Perfect.
Man, who the heck are your top ones?
Oh, I'll come in there. Hold on. Number 19, Mick Foley. 18, Ted DiBiase. 17, Dusty Rhodes. 16, Andre the Giant.
Thanks for the.
You don't mean
Fuck
Andre
him.
Dawson?
I thought you meant to say Andrade.
Yeah, no, Andre the Giant. 15, John Cena. 14, Edge. 13, Kurt Angle.
Did you go by like age bracket?
No, I did not go by age bracket. Where was I? Kurt Angle was 13. 12, Chris Jericho.
Still not believing you.
11, Triple H.
Still not believing you.
Okay, top 10. Number 10, Sting. Number 9, Bret the Hitman Hart. Number 8, HBK. Number 7, Roddy Piper. Number 6, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Number 5, Randy Macho Man Savage. Number 4, Ric Flair. Okay, so my top 3. Number 3, Hulk Hogan. Followed by number 2, The Undertaker. And the number 1 best wrestler of all time is Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Here's my problem with
And that's
your list.
all based on their careers, the look, their in-ring ability, their mic skills, and their marketability.
So you have a very good list, and I have no problem with your placement.
It's a sexist
and
list.
what's
There's
your
no
list.
women on it.
No,
You're right,
but let me.
There's not. But that could be another time. I could do top 25. That'll be next week. I'll do top 25 female wrestlers.
So here's my one problem.
Mae
with
Young
your
will be
list.
number 1, but it's okay.
You claim that you were a WCW fan.
I was.
And you have one WCW guy in
I
your
have
list.
Sting, yes.
And that's it.
But you also have to realize Hulk Hogan was WCW, Savage was WCW.
But they weren't known for
Jake
their
the Snake,
thing.
Ric Flair. All of them were not. Well, a lot of those people were AWA first.
Did you have Dusty Rhodes on that list?
I did.
Okay.
Okay.
He was top 20.
I mean,
To say that they're all fed is complete BS, Lonnie.
Not that they were only fed, but they were majority known for their fed work.
Okay. A lot of the Attitude Era stuff was fed. Okay, I agree. Because in the Attitude Era, really, WWF had the edge.
Disappointed.
You know,
I wanted more creativity out of you.
I'm not going to make a top 25 list, but if I was to name who I think is like
Mount Rushmore?
the best wrestler, number 1 on my list, and a lot of people will argue with this, Bret the Hitman Hart. He'd be number 1 on my list.
I think he's the most underrated for sure.
For sure. And I think that he is also somebody that people give a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? They gripe about him a lot. And they think that he's a bitter old man now because he complains a lot. But if these people really understood how the business worked back when he was full-time doing it, I mean, that guy worked his ass off.
Oh, yeah.
And he made, and if you listen to the Broken Skull session, which was great with Bret Hart, he talks about like how every time he went out there, he wanted to make sure that everything made sense in the way of the story, the storytelling of the match, and just everything. And I think that he is a very underrated person, and he is definitely number 1 on my list. Maybe not the best on the microphone, but he could at least cut a decent promo.
Right. I'm going to try to go. I don't have my list with me. I'm going to try to go through it, but I'm going to go from 1 to 10.
Okay.
Instead of 10 to 1.
Sure.
Number 1 for me of all time was Dean Malenko.
Okay.
Just Dean Malenko, was great. Number 2, Chris Benoit.
Who? You can't say that name.
I can't.
I'm kidding.
I can't say that name. I'm going to say that name. Number 3, Bret Hart. Number 4, Jericho, which I'm sad. Was Jericho on your list?
Yes, he was. He was top 10. No, he was not top 10. He was like top 15.
Number 4, Okada. No on Okada. Do you know who Okada is?
Moving on. Is he same era as Dumpster Drozy?
No.
Okay.
Okay. You played Okada when we played Fire Pro.
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? Okay, moving on.
Did I say he was 4 or 5?
4.
4, okay. 5, Dynamite Kid. What's wrong? What's wrong with
Nothing. Go ahead. Keep going.
Number 6 was Zack Sabre Jr.
Okay.
Kenta, number 7.
Okay.
Number 8, Shawn Michaels, but like pre-Attitude Era Shawn Michaels.
Okay, like okay.
Rockers?
Rockers?
No,
Michaels?
like drug Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
Like before got clean Shawn
Yep.
Michaels, like Click Era.
Before he found Jesus, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 9, Vampira.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, good old Vampira.
Yeah.
He wasn't a good wrestler, but he was a great character.
Yeah, well, great character. Yeah.
Great character
Yeah,
work.
I agree.
Matt Cross for number 10.
You know who I'm disappointed none of us had on our list? I
Who?
mean, mine was just number 1.
Huh.
Owen Hart.
Yeah.
He always got overshadowed by Bret Hart.
He did.
And with that horrible situation that happened, that I can't even imagine what he could have done, even with the rest of his career.
Well, from what I understood from like a documentary that came out after he passed away, like he was planning on retiring from professional
Was he?
wrestling within a year.
Oh, wow.
Because he was having their dream home built, him and his wife him and his family, and once that was built, he was going to quit wrestling. Like he liked wrestling, but that's not what he wanted to do in life.
Well, and the Blue Blazer gimmicks was not what he wanted to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was just a joke. Right. And it's sad that his life ended tragically because of a joke gimmick like that. Like, not that it would have made it any better, but had it been like Owen Hart himself, his character, I think there would have been more meaning to his death. But the fact that it was for a stupid stunt of being lowered from the ceiling with the stupid Blue Blazer gimmick, that's a shame. So this is a topic we could talk about, that since we're talking about dark things. How about the Chris Benoit two-parter?
I have not finished part 2 yet, and I don't think I'll be able to. To be completely honest,
it's rough. I mean, it's interesting, but yeah, it's definitely a rough thing. Lonnie, what's your take on it?
You know, from him being one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, like, you knew it was going to come out. You knew the darkness was there. But you can't let it take away from the fact that he was one of the greatest of all time. Like, even, you have to take into account what was wrong with him wasn't addressed. Like, CTE and mental...
Yeah, back then?
Yeah, and mental health problems not addressed are going to destroy anybody. They're gonna affect the best of us all. So... if he got the help he needed, he could probably he could be Edge. He could be Brock Lesnar. He could be the Mount Rushmore of greatest of all times.
Had this not happened, where do you think he would be today? Like, do you think he would have still been an active wrestler now, or do you think he would have retired?
I think he would have retired, and I think he would have. Probably kept the Heart Dungeon open. I honestly think the Heart Dungeon probably would have stayed open longer.
Man,
can you imagine if that family hadn't gone through? Can you imagine what the Heart Dungeon would be today?
Well, Chris Benoit as a trainer would be insane. I think if he had, how old would he have been if he was still alive?
Probably in his
late 40s.
Yeah, early 50s, late 40s. Probably same age as Chavo
he would
right now.
Probably be a head trainer at the Performance Center.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, guaranteed, yeah.
We're looking up.
Yeah, we're looking right now. Google.
53? Wow.
Yeah, he would have been 53.
Man, I mean, that makes me feel old. Like, I didn't think he was going to be that old, but...
You are old.
Right? Yeah. I'm getting there.
You're the old one at the table.
It's such an interesting story in itself. Yeah. I said, one person that I feel really bad for was Chavo Guerrero, because
poor guy.
He years before, he was the one that the hotel called and told him about like how Eddie's not answering his phone, and was the one that found him on the floor, and he was still alive when he went in there gurgling, and he said that Eddie died in his arms. And then he was really close to Chris Benoit. And I mean, he was one of a few people that got that weird text from Chris Benoit. And I mean, that guy himself, like, I think he puts on a face. I think he's stronger than he's really letting anybody think he is, because to go through all that is crazy. And one thing he said too about the whole like brain thing and the chair shots, like he says he's worried because he took a lot of unnecessary head shots, chair shots, and he's like, something like that going to happen to me?
Well, a lot of the CTE from Benoit, like the dude no-sold a flying headbutt for decades. Like, and the same thing with Dynamite Kid. Sold a flying headbutt for decades. That's just got to rattle your brain.
Didn't they say in the documentary something about, like, they had told Chris Benoit when he wanted to do the flying headbutt to not do it?
I mean, try to tell any
I think when
worker.
he transitioned, the WCW transition, I think WWE tried to get rid of that, because I think at that point they were at least attempting to try to get rid of. They were starting to ban moves at that. That was the time that they were starting to do that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, anyways, if you haven't seen that documentary, you should definitely watch it.
Get your box of tissues for sure. All right, well, let's get into now the final word, folks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about next week. So next week we'll talk about WrestleMania, and I may have a surprise for you guys next week that we may play a game. We might change things up next week with adding a new segment. Because there really
You're not
isn't.
allowed to do that.
I am too.
Only I can
You
add.
added balls deep, sir, so I can add something.
All right, fine. I'll add.
I don't know what it is yet,
too.
but it's going to be awesome. But yeah, and then we have a guest next week that you're not telling me who it is.
Nope.
Till next week.
No. Lonnie will tell you.
I'll tell you.
Okay, who is it?
What? Who do you got for Wrestle of the Week?
Who do I have for the now wrestle of the week?
Yes.
I'm going to go Pete Sanctions.
We're completely.
I'm going to go Pete.
We're completely skipping segment. You're just
I
going
know, blah,
straight
blah,
to the
blah.
end.
Because he's excited to know who you're going to talk to next
That's right.
week.
No, I'm based just solely on tonight. I'm going to go with Pete.
I'm surprised you didn't go with Drew Chandler again.
The guy's
Why do you always go?
revolutionary.
Why do you always go with Drew Chandler?
Because he's awesome.
Why?
Because he can sell a butt bomb like nobody's business. That's why.
That's awesome. Well, great, because next week you get to talk with him. He's our guest.
Yes!
Next week, Drew Chandler.
Oh, mark out fanboy. Here we go. Like
So
you,
next-
Jimmy frickin' Havoc. It's me and Drew Chandler. Yes.
So
next,
we know who your now wrestler of the week next week's going to
Drew
be.
Chandler next week. Calling it right now. Yep.
So next week, our guest, Referee Drew Chandler.
Yeah. Also on a bit of happy news. So we were at the NXT Live event that was here in Omaha, was it 10 months ago? The referee that broke his leg in the middle of the match. I can't remember what his name
Linda
is.
blared the shit out of his
God,
ankle.
he did though. But he finally returned to NXT television 2 or 3 weeks ago. So kudos to him to be able to actually finish that match. It's taken him 10 months to recover, but I'm glad he's back on TV.
Just because he was in the front row doesn't mean anything special.
What are you talking about, Lonnie?
You're not going to ask me who my wrestler of the week was?
Who's your wrestler of the week, Lonnie?
Drew Chandler.
Anyway. All right, folks, that's going to bring us back. We will see you guys next week.
Live. Again.
Live. Yeah, we're going to do this every week for here on out. What are you doing, Lonnie? You taking a video of me? No. You're videoing me.